First at 5:30 tonight, we're working the latest in a murder trial of a New Bedford man accused of killing a retired school teacher. Today, opening statements got underway in the case of Joshua Silva.
Now, he's accused of slashing Joyce Howland's throat 2 years ago. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado has our top local story at 5:30 from Fall River Superior Court.
On the first day of the trial, the prosecution called about a dozen witnesses. Prosecutors told the jury Joshua Silva killed Joyce Howland in order to steal prescription drugs and jewelry, which they say he later pawned for heroin. Nearly 2 years ago, a friend of 69-year-old Joyce Howland found her dead in this home. Today, Bristol County prosecutors began trying to prove to a jury that Joshua Silva killed her.
Brutally slit her throat and left to get money for drugs.
Silva installed insulation in Howland's attic on Hamlet Street in Fairhaven a few days before her death. In opening statements, Bristol County Assistant DA Katie Rayburn says that's when he got the idea to kill her in order to steal her prescription drugs and her jewelry to pawn for heroin. The prosecution called a number of Howland's friends to the stand. They were part of a club called Sociable Singles. When Howland didn't show up at the ladies' trivia night on October 14th, 2013, Colette Sylvia went to her home to check on her.
She goes through the house calling for her and ultimately ends up in the bedroom where she found her friend face down, blood around her, dead.
Silva's defense attorney says there's no direct evidence tying his client to the murder.
This is a circumstantial case from beginning to end.
He says he'll present evidence during the trial, including autopsy photos that will provide reasonable doubt the jurors need for an acquittal. A co-worker of Silva's who helped him insulate Howland's attic also testified that he knew of the plan but didn't think it was serious. Now, coming up at 6:30 on Eyewitness News on Fox Providence, we'll show you surveillance video from a pasta house the prosecutors say is Silva throwing away evidence. For now, in Fall River with the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.
New at 6:30, we're learning more about the murder of a local teacher. The trial of Joshua Silva got underway today. He's accused of killing Joyce Howland at her home nearly 2 years ago. And in court, we got our first look at surveillance footage prosecutors say shows him getting rid of evidence. Eyewitness News reporter Steph Machado has the details from the mobile newsroom.
On the first day of the trial, the prosecution called about a dozen witnesses. Prosecutors told the jury Joshua Silva killed Joyce Howland in order to steal prescription drugs and jewelry, which they say he later pawned for heroin. Today, prosecutors began laying out the timeline of how they believe Joshua Silva killed 69-year-old Joyce Howland in her home.
Brutally slit her throat and left to get money for drugs.
A key part of their argument, this security footage from outside an Italian restaurant, the Pasta House. You can see a man, who they say is Silva, walk from the general direction of Fairhaven Lumber, where Silva worked, and toss something on the ground. Pasta House manager Joshua Fortin went and picked it up.
It's a prescription bottle label from CVS Pharmacy.
Is that what you found in the back alley?
Yes, sir.
He immediately saw the name on the label.
Looks to me like it says Joyce Howland.
The tape was recorded shortly after the time prosecutors believe Silva killed the former educator in her Fairhaven home. He had installed insulation there a few days earlier. The Commonwealth's case relies on Silva's drug addiction, arguing after he killed her, he stole her prescription medication with that label and her jewelry, which he later sold to a pawn shop. The defense says that's not enough to prove first-degree murder.
This is a circumstantial case from beginning to end.
A co-worker of Silva's who helped insulate Howland's attic also testified he said he knew of the plan but didn't think it was serious. The trial resumes here on Thursday. The jury will be taking a field trip to Fairhaven to visit the crime scene. In Fall River with the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom, I'm Steph Machado, Eyewitness News.